desktop, and once they're reestablished, then you can trash them?
That's right. That's right.
Okay.
Yeah, you
Okay.
don't want to throw them away just yet. But again,
Okay.
to
Okay.
review, if you go up under the Finder window, hold down the Option key, you will get the
Okay.
library file. That is your user's library, not the computer's library. Uh,
Okay.
Once you do that, you go and find the Preferences folder. Inside that
Okay.
Preferences folder, you drag all the way down until you leave all the com.apples and you get to the com.other companies. And in this case,
Okay.
VMware. Select those VMware files. Don't throw them away. Just drop them onto the desktop or into a folder on the desktop because there might be several of them.
Mhm.
Restart VMware. Of course, you need to do that with everything closed. Restart VMware, and hopefully that change will take effect then. All right.
Okay. Well, the other thing I'm seeing too, if I can just one more second, is my internet is logging off.
Give
Since
me
I've done Mountain Line. It
Give me
just
more description what you mean by logging off.
the little signal up there that shows you that you have full coverage. It'll be searching. It's searching for my internet service.
Okay, so it's dropping, maybe it's dropping the wireless signal. Is that what you mean to say?
Yes.
All right. So
Yes.
if it's dropping the wireless signal, the first question that I have is it happening in more than one place? In other words, is it happening only in your house and not other places, or is it not really a situation where you're even really taking the computer to other places?
It's only happening here. I mean, it's just this computer, so it's only happening here
It's an
that
iMac.
I see.
It's an
I,
iMac, or is it a desktop? I mean, a laptop.
it, it's an iMac.
Okay.
But I
Okay.
haven't checked to see if my husband's computer goes off because they're both wireless.
Yeah. All right. Probably not. If that's the case, a couple of things to try. And again, this is very similar to the fix that we just talked about.
Hmm.
A couple of things to do, and I'll run through these real quickly. Let's see. If you go into System Preferences, and once you get to System Preferences, you go to Network. Inside Network, we select our Wi-Fi network. And in this case, I'm selected to a Wi-Fi network. Next thing you want to do is go to Advanced. Now, you're going to see a list of potential networks that your computer has joined in the past. You want to make sure
Hmm.
that the one that is in your home is at the top of the list. I'm on the
Okay.
Saigon network right now because I'm in my house, and my house network is called Saigon. Now, if I was on the Charles network, that would need to be dragged up or drug up and let go at the very top. So that's the first
Okay.
thing. Second thing you might
Okay.
want to do is, because it's an iMac and it's sitting in one location all the time, you might want to say to these other networks, hey, let me just delete these. So you say, I'm never going to be there. So you just hit the minus key and get rid of those.
Okay.
So, so
Okay.
now you've left the iMac for looking for one place in particular. The next
Okay.
thing you want to do is back at the network front page here is you click the gear switch. You click the gear switch at the bottom left hand corner and you will see the ability to select service order. If you choose to select service order, then you can organize your services in the order that you want the computer to look for them. Now, in my case,
Okay.
my service order is really kind of incorrect. It's looking for Wi-Fi over Bluetooth first, then it's looking for a connection over Ethernet, then it's looking for Wi-Fi. So what I really need to do is drag that up to the top. Now my computer looks for my Wi-Fi networks before it looks for Bluetooth and Ethernet connections.
Okay.
That's the
Okay.
next
All
thing to
right.
do. But that's not the only thing. There are other fixes, and these are just potential things that could be going wrong. So you do those things first.
Okay. I'll do those things first. Okay. Thank you.
Okay, all right. And by the way, I'm now recording. My dogs are going crazy here. I'm going to record these sessions and I'll post them so that other people can take a look at them as well. Let me take a second to get
Okay.
my dogs out of here.
Okay.
All right. And Daryl, we'll get to you next. Guys, out. Go. All right, Daryl, what have you got?
First thing, Scotty, do VIPs take the place of smart mailboxes?
Uh, they are smart mailboxes for Grandma Edna. And what I mean by
I see.
that is, smart mailbox requires you to configure things. A smart mailbox requires you to apply several rules if you want, or you could just say, hey, I want all my email from Daryl Orcutt So you'd have to go create a smart mailbox and then create that rule. But if you're Grandma Edna doesn't use smart mailboxes, and I use Grandma Edna as my identifier for just the most general basic user we can think of. She's not going to use a smart mailbox ever, but it would. That doesn't mean that she wouldn't take advantage of that feature. So the VIP mailbox that gives you the ability to, with one click, say this person is a VIP, and it basically creates a smart mailbox for that one person on that one level. It doesn't give you the ability to say, I want my mother-in-law as long as it's from the last 2 weeks, and if the email has an attachment. That's what a smart mailbox does.
Okay.
All right.
And along those same lines, if I wanted all my Scotty mail, instead of being in a smart mailbox, which of course is in two places, it's in my inbox and it's in my smart mailbox, right?
Yes, that's correct. That's right.
Okay. What if I wanted just all my Scotty mail in a folder?
Then you would just create a folder, a dumb folder that has no rules. Is that what we're talking about here? So for instance, over here on my mail, I've got one VIP, which happens to be my mom. But if I wanted to collect multiple emails, then I would just plus sign in the bottom left-hand corner. I wouldn't choose smart mailbox. I would just choose mailbox. That mailbox is a dumb folder that has no rules, and it only includes what I drag into it.
Okay, so I could name it Scotty, and I could set up a rule to send the mail there directly?
Yeah, you could set up a rule to do that. That's right. Yeah, if you wanted to. You could say, if I get this from this person, then please move it to that location.
Okay.
Yeah, so what he's talking about, I've got lots of rules in my email. I've got rules to color things. I've got rules to move things. So let me see if I pull these rules up so I glance. The more simple you make the rules, here's a set of my rules. The more successful you're going to be. We got a crowded house tonight, so we're going to move through this pretty quickly. But so here's a rule right here. I'm going to edit that rule. It says that if this comes from Google Analytics, do two things: move it to a different mailbox, but also change the color on it. All right. So that's a great way to think about that. We're gonna move on here. I'm just gonna go down the list because we got a lot of people here this evening. If, by the way, for the people that just popped in, if you were in last week, I tried to get online, but I had some connection problems because I was trying to do it remotely through my iPhone tethering, and it just didn't work. I didn't have enough bandwidth, so it kept failing. So I'm back at home. All right, Carol, I see that you're online this evening. Carol, what have you got? Carol, are you with us?
Yeah, but I don't know how to do this, guy.
Well, that's okay. Now, Daryl's got his camera on, and I've told people this in the past. Most of the time, the guys will often turn their cameras on. Sometimes women won't turn their cameras on, so you certainly don't have to turn your camera on. But right now, we're all looking at my screen. So I have a list of everybody that's in the session, and I'm going to go down the list. If you have a question, you're welcome to ask it, and then I can look at your screen. If I look at your screen, everybody else in the meeting will also see your screen. So hide the crazy pictures if you want that. But if you just want to listen, then just say, I don't have a question, and I'll just pass you, and I'll come back to you in a little bit. So, Carol, do you have any kind of question about the Mac this evening?
Well, my only question is this, Scotty. I would like to print something off my laptop, but I don't know how to do it wirelessly to our printer.
Okay, so is your printer connected to the network with a USB cable? In other words, is your printer nearby a device of some sort, or is your printer a wireless printer?
Well, it may not be a wireless printer. I have a wireless printer upstairs, but the one that I have that I thought I could use is the one that's attached to the desktop.
Okay, so it's attached to a desktop via a USB cable?
I think so.
Okay.
Probably, yes.
So here's what you would probably do then. Whether or not the device is wireless, you have trumped all that because you've connected the printer to your computer. So what you want to do in your system preferences is go into the system preferences, then printer. Once you get to your printer, you select the printer that you've got via USB, and then you're going to choose to share that printer. And this is done on the desktop computer. So in other words, the desktop computer is sharing that printer. Now, if print sharing is turned off, you're going to need to click this button over here to go to sharing preferences.
Okay.
Once you get to sharing preferences, you just want to make sure that you've got print sharing turned on. Now
Okay.
your desktop is sharing the printer, and when you go to add,
work on that fast until you get
sorry, noise in the background. When you go to add that printer, it will show up as
That's
the
not. It's not because those
Canon
things are too
add
long. It's not because it's too far.
Carol's iMac.
Even because you're writing one letter at a time.
Whoever's got the background noise, if you got,
Courtney.
is it Courtney? All right, we'll get to her in a second. All right, Carol, does that answer your question?
Yeah, but I couldn't hear that last sentence you just had.
So now this, say for instance, back at my printer here, this
Uh-huh.
that I've got is now being shared via my MacBook Pro that I'm online right now with. So this is a desktop, let's say. Um, when I go to add that printer, let's see if I can add one right now. Notice that when I go to add a printer down here, there's another printer in my house, the OfficeJet 7300, but it is at another computer because that computer is sharing that printer. So that's the one that you would add. It's not difficult. You'll see it when you go and
Okay.
click the plus sign. It won't be too hard. All right.
Okay.
But
Thank you.
that should do it for you. Make sure that all your drivers are up to date. Whenever you update from 10.6 to 10.7, 10.7 to 10.8, it's oftentimes you have to go download the latest drivers. They're not always automatically there. All right.
Okay.
Courtney, what have you got this evening? Is this Courtney who I worked with yesterday? Hey, Courtney. While Courtney's coming in, she might be muted, or she may have muted herself too. Courtney,
Okay.
hey, you can hear me now, Courtney?
Scotty?
Yeah, can you hear me, Courtney?
Yes, I'm sorry. I tried to move to a room
Yeah.
where there was no background noise, but then I didn't have service.
That's okay. I can hear you fine here. Let me explain Courtney's problem to everybody, because this is a problem that can happen to anybody, and it happens to almost everybody. Courtney has multiple Apple IDs, just like almost 100% of everyone that I work with. And one of her Apple IDs she's not used in a long, long time. Let's say a year or less. It doesn't really matter. But she's moved on to a new Apple ID, just like all of us. And her old Apple ID's password is she doesn't have access to that password anymore. Either she's forgotten it, or maybe it got changed, or she just can't get to it. She's been on the phone with Apple, and Apple is, at least when we last talked a while ago, Apple was denying the ability to get into that account. They would not let her have access to be able to change this. So what's happened is she has all this content. She's got iPad apps, music that were associated to this old Apple ID, and she could not convince Apple to give her access to this account so that she could authorize the computer or other devices to play this. Courtney, have you been on the? I know you were on the phone support earlier today. Have you been on the chat support at all today?
I haven't gotten on the chat support, but I talked to someone today, and they're adamant they cannot help me. So
Yeah,
I don't know what to do.
I really feel, and I've run into this problem before a couple of times. I can't remember. I'm pretty sure it was through the chat support though that I got it.
Okay.
Because that there are specific teams for each functionality. There are iTunes support teams with Apple. There are iCloud support teams. What you've got to do with Apple is get through the first and second tier of the support staff and get to the next tier person. But it's still even more difficult, especially with what happened last week with the security breaches that Apple had with one of the top bloggers got he got all of his devices wiped. I can't think of his name right now, but you guys might have seen it in the news. But anyway, he got I think it was Mark Hantman. Anyway, he got all of his stuff wiped because someone was able to social engineer their way around. In other words, convince Apple that they were someone that they were not. So Apple's even more careful about this now. All I can tell you now is try the chat support. For any of you guys
Okay.
who have never gone through the chat support, they do have a good system, but it is a completely different experience than being on the phone.
When I called today, I actually did get up. I talked to 3 different people.
Yeah, so you got through
And
to a couple of different levels.
I got through. I asked to speak to a manager, and then I asked to speak to their manager.
Yeah.
And they said at this time that they could not help me with my password, but to go to chat. But I had already gone to chat, and they had told me the same thing. So right now I'm just going to wait it out, see if eventually just call back every once in a while and see what I can do. But now I have another problem.
Okay.
On the person he's
All
talking
right.
On my laptop, it's telling me that Safari, I downloaded the Mountain Lion,
Yeah.
and it's telling me that Safari has quit unexpectedly,
Yeah.
and it's got all these problems. And then when it says to reopen, it just closes, and Safari will not open at all.
Okay, so it's in this never-ending loop of crashing, and this goes back to a question we talked about earlier with another person. But what I'd like to do is jump over and look at your screen, Courtney, so we can try to solve that. So if that's okay, I'm going to ask for permission here in just a second, and you will see a request for us to look at your screen.
Okay, but I'm not. I'm on my iPad right now.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, if you're on your iPad, I'll show you.
Safari.
It's not too difficult. I'll show you how to do it. It's just a matter of you have to get into a little secret area. And I'm recording this too, and I'll post up this recording to the web so that you can go through if I go too fast. But what you're going to want to do is on your desktop in the Finder, under the word "Go" at the very top left-hand corner. And this is, believe me, I've actually probably talked about this twice already. This is the answer to almost everybody's problems. If you go under the word "Go" and you click on it, you will see a list of places that you can get to. Well, one of the places that you need to get, and the place where the problem is probably occurring, is not listed. But if you hold the Option key down, you get the library. So you go to the word "Go," hold the Option key down, and now you see library.
Okay.
Select library, and that takes you to your user's library. Now, you couldn't get there any other way, really, other than using that Option key. I mean, there's other ways, but that's the way that Apple says to do it. And Apple's trying to hide this from us because they don't really want us to go in and mess around in this. But you're an intelligent enough person, you can try to do this to solve the problem. Once you're in the library folder, you're going to go to two things I want you to do. The first thing I want you to do is you're going to find a folder called Safari. In that folder called Safari, you will see a whole lot of files. To nip this in the bud, you can throw all of these files away except for one. This is extremely important. I would select all of them except for the bookmarks file at the very top.
Okay.
Take that file, all those files, and you throw them away. Drag them into the trash. All right? The next thing you want to do is go to the Preferences folder, which is just above that.
Hold on a sec.
Okay. And there's a very specific file that we want to get, and we want to throw it away as well. Okay?
So can I just highlight all of them and then delete them?
Yes. Yes. Now, after you've done that, there's one other file that you want to get rid of.
Hold on, it's not letting me do it. I'm highlighting them all right now.
Except for the bookmarks file.
Except for the bookmark. And then do I just hit delete?
No, Command delete.
Oh, okay.
So you hold the Command key and hit delete. That's the keyboard stroke to delete something. Otherwise, you drag it to the trash.
Okay, they're done. They're gone.
Next, you go to the Preferences folder, which is right above that. And you might want to stretch that window out a little bit so you can see the names of these files a little bit more. And we want to go.
I have preference panes and just preferences.
Preferences only. Preferences only.
Okay.
All right. We're going to go to a little bit further down, and we're going to get to com.apple.safari. And you see that there are a few there. com.apple.safari.plist is actually what it is. These
.plist?
Yeah, these are the files that the computer is always writing to all the time, and I equate it to a piece of paper. The more you write on this piece of paper and you erase the piece of paper and you write again and you erase and you write and you erase, eventually the paper wears out. And reference or this plist file can get corrupt for a lot of different reasons. It's constantly being written all the time. So what we're going to do is select com.apple.safari, and we're going to take all of those plist files that start with com.apple.safari, and we're going to throw them away. Command delete.
So there are only two, would that be right?
Yeah, that's fine. So now that we've thrown those away, you restart Safari, and hopefully that will solve the problem. All right? you can do that little move that I just showed you of throwing those plist files away, and that normally solves 9.5 times out of 10 to solve the problem, except when
Mm.
you're working with. So is
Do
it?
I have to close this do I have to close the whole thing down?
No, you can leave it open. Just you want to have done that with Safari quit. So if Safari was open, you got to go through that process really again.
Oh, it was.
Yeah. So quit Safari, go through that
Okay.
again. While you're
Go to
going through,
go.
while you're going through that program, remember in the library, in your users library, you're going to toss out the uh, the set of
Re-
files within Safari.
Remind me what to push when I'm under go.
The
What do I
option.
push to have library pull up?
Option. Hold the option key down, and that will give you the ability to see the library folder. All right. All right.
Okay.
I'm going to let you work through that. I'm going to move to the next person, and we'll come back in another round here. But I'm going to try to hit everybody if I can. Emma Day, I've got you up, going. What's popping?
Well, I was listening to you saying how you get wireless with the printers. So if I connect my printer with a USB cable, I could get it to go wireless rather than finding all the other stuff.
That's exactly right. If you connect your printer to a computer like a Mac,
Okay.
or even an Airport Extreme or an Airport Express, those have USB ports on them. So those will share those as well. I go into clients' homes and businesses all the time, and they've got a printer, but maybe it's 2 or 3 years old and it doesn't have wireless. We plug it up with that USB cable, their computer will share it. Or you plug it up to an Airport Extreme, it will share over your network through something called Bonjour.
I don't know what Airport Extreme is.
You have one, Emma Day. It's that white airport router. It's with the green dot on it. It's a router that gives you wireless. So
Okay, so you plug into that and into the printer.
yeah, that's right. The printer could plug into that device, the Airport Extreme, and on the back of the Airport Extreme, there's a USB connector.
Okay, well, I have an appointment with you on Wednesday. I've got that clip-free file, and I've got more things that are on my desk that need to be found again. That's one reason I don't have the wireless, is it's in that folder. That I've tried to restore on my desk. There's a folder that has 555 items on it.
Yeah, that click-free file that you're talking about is a recovered file from a Windows machine. So that's really not going to have anything to do with your wireless network connecting.
Yeah, but I've got another folder on my desk that was still on there when we recovered things.
Yeah.
That still needs to be recovered, I think.
Emma Day had a very terrible thing that happened to her last week. She had a simple problem. It was a very simple problem, but I wasn't able to connect to her in time, and she got on the phone with AppleCare. Normally, AppleCare does a really good job most of the time, although we talked to Courtney earlier today, she would disagree with that. And I would disagree with it sometimes too, but it's really hard to do things over the phone. Emma Day's resolution with AppleCare was for them to basically, they wiped her entire user and they started over with a new user. Well, in doing that, she lost everything. Now, she had a backup, and we were able to go into Time Machine and recover all of her data for her. So that was real fortunate. But she basically, what happened was, a very small problem was solved with a gigantic solution that ended up destroying more than it helped. And but we recovered everything, didn't we, Emma Day? We got most everything.
Almost. That's why I needed to talk to you about it. They had, when I went back in, I lost some stuff, and they put it in a file on my desktop.
Okay.
And I've still got to recover that. That's why I'm not wireless anymore, because the mechanism that did that is in that file.
Okay.
I think, and some other stuff, a lot of stuff, actually.
Okay. All right, we'll be able to recover all of it. I feel very confident that we will, because we got all the heavy-duty things as it was. And by the way, while I'm thinking about it, Emma Day, you actually have a Time Capsule and an Airport Extreme, which are both routers. You use that Airport Extreme when you travel. But both of them have USB ports on the back, and you could connect printers to those if you wanted to.
Okay. Is it possible to recover things from a click-free file? It's got a Mac device on it too, or is that just not possible? Well, how do you get them back?
Well, remember when we were there the other day, you couldn't locate the click free.
I've got them now.
So once I can see it, I'll have a better idea of what you're talking about. That
Okay.
click free is a hard drive that when you
Okay.
say click free, I think of a hard drive that had this automated backup, and I was thinking it came from a Windows machine, but we'll be able to solve that when I'm with you.
Okay.
Your problem.
All right. Thank you.
I'm going to jump over to Hobie. Hobie, what have you got this evening?
Hey, you helped me set up my emails on my new computer, and I still can't send email from my business it's the Scout Guide. I can't I'm receiving emails on this new computer, but I can't send emails.
I remember that. Okay, so it's the outgoing is the problem, the incoming is no problem. Is that right?
Right.
Okay, so we might be able to fix this. Let me see if I can jump over and we're going to take a look at that. So hide all your secret information, and you're going to see a request for us to look at your screen. This happens a lot. I don't know if your domain, the Scout Guide, I don't know if you bought that through GoDaddy. Do you remember the domain server or the company that you bought the email through or is hosting your email?
Yeah, it's it's apparent like I'm a franchisee.
Okay.
So I didn't set it all up.
Okay. That's right. That's right. Okay. So in other words, the Scout Guide, which if you guys have not seen the Scout Guide, it's a really cool. It's a magazine in Charlotte, if I'm saying it right. That it's
promoting local businesses.
Yeah, and it's very well done, very well printed. But there are a couple. I know there's at least one in Virginia, and then Hobie publishes one here in Charlotte. So if you haven't seen it, it's really cool. Go to your mail. So click on the actual mail application.
Okay.
And I want to make sure that you've clicked on it so that the word mail is in the top left-hand corner. Good. Now go to the word mail in the top left-hand corner and select preferences.
Okay.
I'm sorry if this feels rushed to everybody, by the way. Tonight, we've got a lot of people. And again, this is recorded, and I'm going to post it up. It's a new thing I'll do. I'll post this as soon as I figure out how to do it. Go to
what did you end up using for recording, Scott?
Well, it's 5.3. It's the GoToMeeting 5.3. I had not updated. Now this is using it. So we'll see how this works. Now, Hobie, if you will go to the Scout IMAP account, which is right below the iCloud account, select that once. And what we want to do now is look at outgoing mail server. Now, I'm not even too worried about this because we're going to try this another way. See, you have a Gmail account, and Gmail's outgoing server settings are very liberal. They let almost anything deliver. So go to the outgoing mail server down in the bottom right-hand area, select that, and choose the Gmail account.
Okay.
All right, now close that. And while you're in the Scout Guide, yes, save the feature there, save the settings. Now create a new email and send it to me or somebody to where we know it goes out.
Okay.
In other words, we're borrowing Gmail to send out, and this.
Okay.
Wow, it's not going to really, and it looks good. Going. Excellent.
Sounded.
Yeah. Problem. Yeah. So the way that we've solved that, and I just got it from you. The way that we solved that problem is we said.
Oh, did it say that it came from scoutguide.com or from Gmail?
Yes. No, it did not say that it came from Gmail. It said it comes from the Scout Guide. And the way that works is we could sit there and we could work with the outgoing server settings with the Scout Guide, but this is the quick fix, and this is a fix that works fine. You will also find if you go to, say, a Starbucks and you sit down, the Starbucks might have certain ports blocked. So let's say one, like iCloud. iCloud email might travel over port 565 or 465, let's say. It doesn't, but let's just give that as an example. But Starbucks may block email traveling over port 465. Gmail travels over port 587. And port 587 is not blocked very often by anybody. So Gmail almost always gets out when other services are oftentimes blocked. So we're basically using one service to deliver another service's email. But it's like if FedEx actually delivered a message that was put into the United States Post Office, I would look at the letter and I would see that it came from the United States Post Office, although FedEx handed it to me. Maybe that's not the best analogy, but you don't have to worry about it. It came from Scout Guide.
Okay.
All right, we're going to jump over to Before we jump to Joan, Hobie, did you have a follow up?
No. So, at some point, should I change it to the Scout sender, or just it's fine like this?
Yeah, not really. It's just the matter of using a different engine to deliver it. I would leave it. It's totally fine. If you go
Okay.
over,
All right, great. Well,
yeah, no problem. All right,
yeah,
Joan.
thanks so much.
No problem, Joan. We got you. What's up?
Hi. Werner's computers, his Mac is almost 5 years old, and he's on, I don't know, Snow Leopard or whatever, and we cannot update it anymore. And he had a problem a couple of times. His mouse has a viable cursor, but the cursor will not open anything. So I set up a keystroke to open preferences on my computer and his, and it works great on mine, but won't work on his. So when his mouse is not working, without getting into preferences, he's dead.
Okay.
But why does it work on mine? I did what Apple on their website said. I set it up as Shift Command comma, and it opened preferences without a mouse on my computer, but not on his.
So let me try to make sure that I understand the question. You have a mouse that is not working. We need to figure out, is it the mouse that's not working, or is it something on the computer that's not working? And so
that's my question to you. His mouse, the cursor works fine, but every once in a while, the cursor won't open anything. But the cursor is viable and visible.
All right, I'm trying to wrap my head around
in order
this
to
problem.
get into preferences, I set up this Shift Command comma thing, which works great on mine. So if my mouse has a problem, I can at least get into preferences. I did the exact same thing on his older computer, my original one, and it does not work.
All right. Well, while I'm thinking about it, an easy, fast way to get into any program, and this would be a great technique for anybody to try by not using the mouse. The computer is fully functional without a mouse. It's hard to use without a mouse, but if I wanted to open system preferences and I didn't previously set up a hotkey, like you did, which is a very smart thing to do, then I'm going to go Command Space, and that's going to give me.
Okay, go slow. Wait, I got to write this down.
Okay, and remember, I'm recording too, so Command Space, and I have Spotlight open. Now, once I have Spotlight open, I'm going to type SYS for System Preferences. Now, I'm not touching the mouse at all. Now, I'm going to hit Return to open up System Preferences.
I'm lost.
Now, I've got System Preferences open. All right? So, from that point,
I'm lost after Command Space Spotlight.
Yeah, Command Space, that gives me the ability to look for something. And in this case, you said you wanted to get to System Preferences, but you couldn't because the mouse was having a problem. So once you go Command Space, you type in System Preferences. You don't really need to type the whole thing. SYS will do it. Now I've gotten System Preferences open. Now I just hit Return. System Preferences is now open on my computer, and I didn't use the mouse, and I didn't have a hotkey set up. So that gets me to 1 point so far. All right. Now, the more important thing, though, is what is going on. What you have this mouse.
I think his computer. We've never had a computer other than an IBM 25 years ago that lasted this long, and we can't update it anymore.
Okay. Well, before we talk about can't updating, the mouse, the actual physical mouse that you have. Is it a wired mouse?
No.
Okay.
He's got the older, I've got the smart mouse or whatever. He's got the dumb mouse, but it's wireless. It looks more like it's round and mine is flatter.
Yeah.
And I spoke to you last time. I had to shut some of the features off of mine because it kept exploding my screen too big.
Yeah, the increasing and decreasing. All right, well, whenever you solve a problem, one of the things that I do is I always try to take an action that when I do this action, it tells me that the problem is cut in 50%. So the first thing that I'm going to do, if I have a wired mouse around, is I'm going to connect a wired mouse to his computer.
Okay, we don't have one.
All right, so if that's not the case, and I don't have a wired mouse, and all you have are two Bluetooth keyboards or Bluetooth mice, then
yes, and I have a trackpad that I don't use much.
Okay, so that's a great example. If you have a trackpad that's not being used, Bluetooth that trackpad, marry that trackpad to his computer. So
Okay.
that eliminates the questionable mouse. So what we need to do is we have to decide, is the mouse questionable or is the computer questionable? So the first thing we got to do is put something else. So either we take the wireless mouse and we marry it to another computer, and if the same problem happens, we know it's the mouse. Or we take another wireless mouse and marry it to that computer, and if the problem happens, we know it's the computer. So you happen to have this trackpad that's laying around that you're not using much. Now, right now, that trackpad is associated to another computer. So if it's
Mine,
yours,
right.
yeah, the easy thing to do before you even get started is go into your system preferences, go into Bluetooth, and minus it out of that list of
Right.
connected devices. I don't even think I have any Bluetooth keyboards or Bluetooth stuff set up on this computer, but you select that trackpad.
Okay, so I'm going to unmarry it to my computer and marry it to his.
Right. Then that will tell you, well, am I still having these same problems? And I'm willing to say that you're not going to. If you do, though, then that tells us the problem is probably software related on the computer. I don't think it's hardware related. I really don't. I think this is a problem that could be solved. But try the trackpad first. Secondly, that computer, you have an iMac. I find it hard to believe that iMac won't go to 10.7.
He's on, I believe, 10.6.8 Snow Leopard, and he only has 1 gigabyte of memory. And now the processor apparently isn't fast enough to do any of the updates. So that's my next very quick question. Either in October or December, we may possibly get a new one, and Werner gets mine, and our grandkids get his. Now, I noticed that you don't have prices listed on your website anymore.
Yeah, you're talking about for my services? Or,
yes.
Yeah, I don't sell any equipment.
No. As far as I can do a lot of the stuff, but I always need you to get it connected to, my airport and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But you don't have any prices. And I was just wondering a quick estimate for that.
Right. I'm 100 an hour with an hour minimum usually, but let's talk offline, Joan, because I have some ideas. I have some things that you could do for me that we could barter some things. All right.
Okay. My other very quick question: if you get a new computer, a lot of stuff goes on automatically from iCloud, correct?
That's right. That's right.
Okay, so it would be mainly documents and stuff like that I'd have to firewire?
Yeah, you could firewire them, or you could take a Time Machine backup. I'm sure that you're backing his computer up with a Time Machine drive. You could connect that Time Machine drive to his iMac, and then everything would fall back over that way. There was something else I was going to say. Oh, here's the other thing, though, Joan. You have an aluminum. He's got an aluminum iMac. It's not a white iMac, right?
It's white. Yes, it's old.
Oh, okay. All right. I was
thinking it was my very first one 5 years ago.
Okay. Yeah. Then it's time to let's let it go. Then I was going to say, if he had an aluminum iMac, he should stay in the pocket on that. Update the amount of RAM and stay with Lion. But the white iMac.
Yeah, no. I looked it up, and his processor is really out of date. Okay. Right. Thank you.
All right. I'm going to jump down to Joyce. Joyce, who's still with me. You were here earlier this evening. Do you have something else that's coming to mind?
Yes, I wanted to check. My husband has like a 5-year-old iMac. Can we do Mountain Lion on it?
You have to have 2 gigs of RAM. Is the iMac a white iMac?
Yes.
Okay. Then it's likely.
He only uses it mainly for email. It's not a necessity. I just thought I'd do it since I'm doing the rest of the computers.
No,
it would be better not to.
10.7 is going to be about the end of the line on that that white iMac. It's possible. The thing is every year up until Mountain Lion, Apple gave definitive lines in the sand. If you don't have this speed processor, you cannot upgrade to the operating system. If you don't have a Core 2 Duo processor, you're not upgrading. If you don't have this much, But now in Mountain Lion, it's like, well, this year of this one, and this year of this MacBook, and this year of this MacBook Pro. So I haven't gotten into my head yet as to which products will actually install Mountain Lion or not. But generally, the white iMacs are it's a good general thumb rule to say white iMacs are not going to Mountain Lion.
Okay.
That was exactly my problem.
Yeah. All right, Joyce, did you have a follow-up on that?
Just, is there like a quick, and you could do this on your website, just a quick thing for Time Machine. I have a Time Machine at another office, and it seems like it's always getting ready, preparing to back up.
Okay.
It does show backups, but some of them are like a day old. So is there like a quick thing you can do to make sure they're working properly?
I have two things to say about Time Machine, or three. First of all, I love Time Machine. There are people in my field that don't like it, would rather use a different type of service like SuperDuper or Carbon Copy Cloner, and those are great pieces of software. But I love Time Machine, and it's maybe once in 6 or 7 years has it ever failed me. It's a wonderful piece of software in my opinion. Secondly, it's not a bad idea once a year to erase the Time Machine drive and start all over again. And that would probably solve your problem right there. Especially when it's time capsule. I don't like time capsule's Time Machine function on how it backs up. And Daryl, I know you're in that market there. I saw the look, but time capsule backing up Time Machine, it puts it into what's called a sparse image bundle. And I have lots of problems with that. When it works, it's great. But nothing beats a hard drive directly connected, because it archives that information in a completely different and much more stable way, in my opinion. But the third thing that I was going to say about Time Machine is that Mountain Lion is wonderful now because Mountain Lion gives us the ability to back up to multiple drives. So oftentimes I've talked about you have to have a drive, and then you have to take this out of your house and bring the other drive in, and then take that one out. And you used to have to go back and forth like a fickle girlfriend and say, now a Time Machine wants to back up to you. No, I changed my mind. Now I want Time Machine to back up to this drive. No, I changed my mind. Now I want Time Machine to back up to this drive. But now with Mountain Lion, you can connect multiple drives, and Mountain Lion will Time Machine to this drive, and it will Time Machine to that drive without you having to change the settings. So that's a great thing that you got to look forward to in Mountain Lion. But to answer your question, Joyce, it's probably not a bad idea to erase that Time Machine drive at least once a year and start all over again.
Okay. How do you erase them?
All right. First, this is the way I erase it. I go to Spotlight and I type in the word disk utility. All right. I open up disk utility and I find the drives that are listed. Now, I don't think I happen to have any drives connected to this computer at the moment. But if I did, I would select that drive over on the left-hand side, and I would choose to erase. Now, I'm going to select a Time Machine drive. I'm going to choose macOS Extended Journaled, and that's by default what's selected. I'm going to call it is now available. I'm going to call it Time Machine, and then I'm going to hit erase. And it's going to say to me, are you sure you want to erase this drive? And I'm going to say, yes, I do. After I've done that, I'm going to go back to System Preferences. I'm going to go to my Time Machine System Preferences, and I'm going to select the backup, and I'm going to see this new pristine hard drive called Time Machine that has a terabyte worth of information available to it. I'm going to select it, and I'm going to use that as the disk, and that will start a brand new record. It's kind of like, yeah, it is scary, but it's kind of like cleaning out your closet. You know how you go in your closet and you got so many clothes, and you can't even find all the clothes that you have anymore because the clothes that you want to wear are buried under the clothes that you have that you started wearing. You kind of just got into this routine, and then there's these shoes and these socks that you've got, but you can't find them. Every once in a while, it's a good thing to take everything out and put it all back in nice and clean and folded so you can get to everything, right? Yeah, well, that's the way Time Machine sort of works. You do lose the ability to go back in time until you build up a new history, but that's just the way it goes. These drives are being written to all day long, every day for 365, 700 days, and drives need to be reformatted every once in a while. It's just like that plist file that we talked about. When you're writing on that piece of paper and you erase and you're writing again, it's not a bad idea to erase the drive and start all over again. You're not erasing your internal drive. You're erasing your backup drive. And if you've listened to me in the past, you have 2 backup drives. So there. That's all I got to say about that for now. We're going to jump back up to Courtney, who's been so patient. Courtney?
Yes.
I know you. Tell me what's going on.
It's still not doing anything.
So the Safari is still crashing, right?
Yes, it's telling me that Safari has quit unexpectedly.
So all right. So the next thing we want to do is we want to test: is it Safari's problem or is it the user's problem? So the next thing I want to do is go into another user and see if Safari opens. If Safari opens in the other user, that tells us Safari is healthy and the problem is in your user. So would you do that for me? I know you've got other users on the machine. I'm almost sure of it, right?
Yes.
So here's what I want you to do. Log out of that user, because you're on your iPad right now, right?
Yes.
Log out of that user, go to another user, open Safari, then go back into your user and interrupt me and whatever, because I'm going to go to Daryl next. Interrupt me and I'll jump back to you. So that's what I need you to do right now, okay?
Okay.
Go to another user, open Safari and see if it's working. And then from that piece of information, I'll know the next thing that we need to try. Daryl?
Okay. Wait, let me ask you a question real quick.
Yeah, take it.
The only other user is Guest. Would Guest have a password?
Guest will work. I don't know if Guest has a password. No, I don't think Guest has a password in this case, in your case. So Guest is one of those users that you can go in, you can work and use things, and then when you log out, it'll say, hey, we're going to delete all the information, and that's fine. All we need to do is test it. It's a great idea for everybody to have a test user.
Okay.
All right, do that, and then just interrupt us again there. Daryl, what else is on the list?
Scotty, would you review for me, please, how we protect our laptops from public networks?
Yeah. Okay. So a couple of things. First of all, when you go into a Starbucks, let's say, or a McDonald's, and there's Wi-Fi there, the rule needs to be do not join that network if there is no password. If it's a free, open, wireless password, do not join it. Because all the information that's traveling between your computer and that router is open and accessible for people to get to. Second thing, if you go to a Starbucks or a McDonald's or somewhere like that, and there's a password, there's a Wi-Fi network, but it's password protected, and it should be. The password, even if the password is listed under the cash register, everyone that wants to join our network, the password is Crunchy Frog. That's a whole different world, because your information is encrypted, but from your computer to the router, and it's a lot more difficult for a bad guy or a bad girl to get to your information, even if they're on the same network with the same password. It's a whole different world. So first of all, don't join open Wi-Fi networks. You see these oftentimes in airports and hotels. That's a bad idea. Don't do it.
Doctor's offices too.
Yeah. Now, unless you just want to take your life in your own hands. And if you do join an open Wi-Fi network, then do not access any banking information. Don't go online to any crucial websites that you need to put a password into. Don't check your email. Go to CNN.com and look at the news, and that's it. But the second level of this really goes into the system preferences and sharing. If you have file sharing turned on, then that opens the door, that at least announces that you exist on the network. Now, if I am on the network and you're on the network and you have file sharing turned on, Daryl, I see that your computer exists, but I cannot readily get to your information because I don't have your password and I don't know your username. Now, I could guess your username by looking at the file system and looking at your users folder. I could guess that, but I could not gain access to it without your password. So
okay, so in my system preferences, in my sharing, nothing is checked.
Then you are very, very safe. All right.
Okay.
So don't
the same way. Laptop should be the same way.
Yeah, don't turn on file sharing when you leave the house and you feel like you want to be very, very private about that. Then yeah, make sure file sharing is turned off. That's going to help quite a bit. All right.
Thank you.
And don't join open Wi-Fi networks.
Ever.
All right, Courtney?
It works on the Guest.
Okay. All right, good. All right, good. So are you back in your user?
No, I was going to ask you, do I switch over now? Or
Yeah, switch back over, because now we're going to
Okay.
throw away some cache files and some by host press files.
Okay, I'll be back.
All right, switch back over and just let me know. Let's see, while we're doing that, Emma Day, you're next up on the list, I believe, there in my list. Emma Day, what else?
All right, you confused me when you said don't share or do share. I thought you just said to put sharing on if you were somewhere and you were joining a network. But did you say put sharing on or off when you're joining some other network to protect you?
Okay, that's a good question. When you're in your home and you have multiple computers, like I do right now, I got computers all over me. I turn on file sharing while I'm in my home. Now, the reason I turn on file sharing is maybe I want a document that's over on this computer over here, or maybe I want to drop a document over to my computer over here. Then, if I have file sharing turned on all of those computers, then when I open up a Finder window, I have a list of my computers that are connected. So, my home 17-inch laptop is on my network, and I could select it, and then I could join it. But when I leave the house, and I'm maybe not a good example, but when a normal person that doesn't do this for a living leaves their house, they really don't have a reason to have file sharing turned on. So file sharing should be turned off.
Where is
it? That way, no one else in your neighborhood of computers, and that neighborhood might be in a Starbucks or at the mall, no one else can either see that you even exist on the network or can even knock on the door to get to your network.
Okay, now where is the file sharing that you share or don't share?
In system preferences.
Okay, all right.
Under the word sharing, it's a third line down, last icon usually. Under the word sharing, you could turn on file sharing or turn off file sharing right there. All right.
So when you're at home, you turn on file sharing. When you're in another place, you turn off file sharing.
Well, if you want to share, I think a good thing is to just not even turn it on. I don't think, Imiday, with how you use your computer, I don't think that you even have a need for file sharing, you personally. So turn it off. Daryl's a very advanced user, and he's always kind of cutting edge on some things, and he's probably going to file share a lot. But yeah, so that's
just don't turn it on so no one can get to it.
No, it's not even something you really need. I'm gonna jump back up to Courtney. Courtney, what happened there? You back in?
I'm back in.
Okay, yeah. So I'm gonna jump over to see your system here.
Remember, I'm on my iPad.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Okay, then we're gonna do this next. You're gonna go open up a Finder window, and you're gonna go again to the Go menu and hold down the Option key. Now we know for 100% fact that the problem is in your users folder. So hold down the Option key and get to Library. Once we've done that, we're going to go to the folder that says Caches.
Okay.
And make sure Safari is quit.
What'd you say?
Make sure that Safari is quit. Safari doesn't need to be open.
Okay.
Okay. Find the folder that says com.apple.safari.
I think I deleted all those.
No, we're in a different area. I meant the word, let's back up a level. You want to go to, let's start over. In the word Go, hold down the Option key, go to Library.
Okay.
Now you're going to go to the folder called Caches. Caching.
Yeah, I've got that. Okay.
All right. I didn't tell you to go in.
Oh, here it is. Here it is. Sorry.
Okay, good. All right. So
I was confused about how the letters went.
I'm easily confused myself. I'm confused right now. Go to the com.apple.safari folder.
Okay.
It says com.apple.safari.
Got it.
Take all the contents of that folder.
Just highlight them?
Yep, that's right. And throw them away. Into the trash. All right?
All right, they're gone.
All right. Now we're going to go back to that folder that said Caches, and we're going to look at the other folders that are in that same level, and we're going to find a folder called Preferences again, down at the bottom, the same folder that we were in.
Hold on a sec. So it closed all down on me. Okay, I'm on Preferences.
Now go into the folder that says By Host.
By Host?
Yes.
Okay.
Select that.
Mm-hmm.
And you might want to stretch that out a little bit. Gosh, if I could here. Find the file that says com.apple.safari. There it is. You might only have one, maybe one or two.
I don't. Hold on.
It's there.
com.apple.safari.
And then a whole bunch of jibber jabber. Okay.
Honestly, I don't see it.
In the buy host?
Yeah. There's. Yeah, it's quick look, and then it goes to scheduler.
Okay. All right, that's fine. Open Safari. Let's skip that step. Open Safari and see if it starts.
Nope.
The plot thickens. All right. The next thing I'd like you to do is go to the applications folder. Open a Finder window. Go to the applications folder.
Where is the applications window?
I might send you another direction. I just thought of something else, but it's going to take me a
Okay.
it's going to take me a second to find what I need.
Okay.
I had that problem when I started Lion OS. You know, when I went in the cloud, I lost Safari, but I don't know if it was me or
Bamboo Firefly.
folder.
That's one of America's dreams.
Here is here it is, right there. Okay, that's what I want you to do. Courtney.
Yeah.
Go back to that library folder and find the folder that says Internet Plugins. Have you found it?
Yeah.
Okay, how many items do you have in there?
0.
Really? Shoot.
Sorry.
That's okay. Thought I had it there. All right, then do this. Go back to your applications folder.
Where is that?
You can go up to the Go menu and find applications that way.
Okay. I'm there.
All right, now find the word Safari.
Okay.
And once you find Safari, after I find it, click on it one time.
That's what I see.
Okay, and go Command I. This is
Okay.
what version is it?
5.1.6.
Okay. Are your updates run under the Black Apple software updates? There is a update to Safari that gets you to 6. That might solve it. See, I'm on version 6, which is the Mountain Lion version, but I believe that even in you're in Mountain Lion, right?
Yes, I did it last night.
Okay, so you should be on 6. So why are you in version 5?
I don't know.
Here's our problem. The other thing is that I think this is not as hard a solution as we thought. What we have to do is we have to go find a copy of Safari. I could Dropbox it over to you because Safari is drag and drop. I could send you a link a little bit to get it. You have Dropbox, don't you?
I don't know.
Safari. I'm not sure where to get it. See, once they stopped writing Safari for Windows, they stopped posting Safari as a download, if I'm not mistaken. Let me see if you can download version 6. Daryl, you want to look for that for me? I don't see the download here. Apple's these are all the old versions. Okay, do this. You have more than one computer, don't you? Yes.
Yeah.
Are they both on Mountain Lion?
Yeah.
Okay, do this. You have a flash drive?
Somewhere.
Okay. If you have that flash drive, go over to the other computer. Find, and you're going to be easy. You won't have to walk you through this. Go to the other computer, plug the flash drive into, say, the iMac. Drag Safari onto the flash drive.
Okay.
take it over to the computer that you're having the problems with, drag Safari and drop it into that folder.
Okay.
And replace. Now, that's at least going to get you up to 6. I don't know why Safari is on version 5. And it doesn't make sense that it would work in one area and not the other, but we definitely need to get you version 6 onto that computer. All right?
Okay. Let me try that.
All right, give that a shot.
Can she use the user's login to get Safari?
Not
upgrade it that way?
The guest?
Not sure what you mean, Bill.
Go log in as the guest.
No, it's the same copy. It's the same copy. Both users use that same copy. So I don't know why.
She stays on the internet with the guest login.
Yes, I can.
I'm not sure what you mean.
Stays on the internet with the guest login, so she goes to update and she goes and gets Safari that way.
Yeah, she could try running the updates under the guest. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Yeah, you could try running the updates under the guest, but that should have been included in the Mountain Lion download. But I'm curious why 6 is there. Why 6 is not there. Well, try that. Also, just drag it onto the flash drive and pull it over. But if you need, I'll be happy to get out and install for you, Courtney, too.
Hold on, you're breaking up. I didn't hear that last part.
I said I'll be happy to get out and solve it. I know you're kind of out there away from Charlotte, but I'll be happy to get out there because I know that I could solve it too.
I'm gonna try to find a flash drive. I've got to get my girls to bed, so I'll let you know. I'll email you.
Okay. All right.
Thank you.
Let's try to finish up here. Hobby, how did it go?
Yes. Yep, I'm here.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes. Yes. Okay.
Yeah, it's not working. I sent it to my husband and did a test to myself, and it's all sending. The email address is from Gmail.
Go back to your. Let me take a look here. Let me jump over to you, and I'm running a little bit out of time here now, so I'm gonna need to get off in a moment. Let me see. You should see a request for us to look at your screen.
Yep. Did you get it?
Give me a second. Yeah, I saw it there. Okay. I don't know whose screen I'm in. Okay, I'm in your screen now. Let's go to Apple's Mail program. Go to Mail Preferences.
Okay.
Go to Composing.
Okay.
All right. Selected mailbox. That's right. Go back to General. No, sorry. Go to Accounts.
All right.
And outgoing. Quit Mail and restart Mail.
Quit Mail.
Yeah. Did you quit Mail already and restart?
I did not. So let's try that.
Yeah. Quit Mail, restart, and send one to me again. But you're right, it didn't, and it should have.
Do you see this? Mail can't identify, so always just say connect.
Yeah, that's their server, their certificate.
Normal.
Probably expired. Or something.
Yeah, and I remember you asked me if it was GoDaddy. It was It's Bluehost.
Bluehost.
Just so you know.
They're good. Okay.
Okay, so let me send an email.
Send it to me again if you would.
And I'm gonna do.
I feel like I've run a marathon tonight here.
Is this more than normal?
This is more than normal.
But Scotty, you do a great job.
Oh, thank you. I hate that I ignore people, and I know we got a lot of people on tonight. But honestly, for you guys like Daryl, Emiday, and Joan, I will ignore you more when we have newer people in, if you know what I mean, because y'all are regulars. I don't think that's gonna. I hope that doesn't hurt your feelings.
I'm learning.
Let's see. So, did you send that out?
I did.
Okay. I'm waiting for it.
Evening traffic.
All right. I don't know why that's going out as that person too.
Okay, so.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. That should go out as the other.
Yep. Came from Gmail.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's try to solve this Bluehost hosting then. Let's go back to Mail Accounts, Mail Preferences Accounts. And select the and go to outgoing server.
Okay.
And select the Scout outgoing. Now select
Okay.
same thing and edit server.
Um,
No, back down where you were. Scout outgoing, select the same thing. Yes. Select that. Yes. And go down to edit SMTP server list.
Now, edit. I'm not sure if I see that.
Yes, I want you to hit the word Scout outgoing again.
Okay.
Now, very bottom.
Oh, gotcha. And then edit.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry about that.
That's all right. All right. Now go to the last one in the line. That's right. mail.thescoutguide.com. Go to advanced. And let's, okay, we have a couple things to do. Go to authentication and select password. A couple different things to try. So select password, put in the, what I'm guessing is the full email address, and I'm hoping you know your password for this account.
We're going to try.
Okay. Either it requires a password and it didn't have it. So let's hit general on that. It should save it. Now quit mail, restart mail. And it also could be, and now once you restart, send another one to us. It could also be that SSL is not required, but you have it checked, so we'll turn SSL off. Getting email right is almost like threading the needle of a fishing line, a fishing rod. You know, there's all these different holes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and every little thing has to be exactly right lined up in order for the email to go out. So if you have SSL checked and it doesn't require SSL, or it could be the prefix of the password and not the whole password, not the whole email address. Okay. Did that go out? Did it make the sound that it went out?
Yeah, well,
that was me.
8:04. So maybe it hasn't gone out yet.
Well, if that's in your
well,
send another one, but put in the body of the email like test 2 or something.
Test 2. Okay.
Something like that. I usually put something in the body of the email too, like just one letter or one word in the actual body, not just the title, but the body as well.
Oh, okay.
Did that go out? No, it looks like it's on its way. I didn't notice if that went out or not. You didn't hear the swoosh though.
No, I didn't hear it, and it's still spinning. And
okay.
So that's what it does when it's not working.
Okay, go back to mail preferences, back to the account settings, and we're going to turn off SSL.
Okay, accounts settings.
Yep, and go to edit server list, and let's turn off. Yep, go to the bottom there, go to advanced, and deselect secure sockets layer. And while you're doing that, I need to look up and see if Bluehost has a specific outgoing port.
Okay. Should I be quitting again?
Yeah, quit mail, restart Bluehost. SSL is on for the outgoing, but it doesn't tell us what port.
25 or 26.
Yeah, I saw 26 as well. We might change that. All right, did that work for us at all? Nope, still stuck.
I just sent an email, but it's not going through.
All right, then let's go back to the same place in our preferences. And let's go to same place, edit server list. And let's go to advanced under the Mail Scout Guide. Up at the top. There we go. And use custom port and put in 26.
Do I need to put the password in?
Yeah, it'd be nice to do that. Yeah. Okay. And yeah, save that, close that and save it, quit mail, restart, and try to send out again. It's not very helpful.
No.
I'm sure there's an easy explanation to this. I'm trying to look it up here. 25 to 26. That's what they're all saying. Here we go with SSL. Outgoing. Go to 465. Here, I'm going to send you this link here. Go to 465 on that. So choose a specific port. No. Custom 465.
All right.
All right. I'm going to send you a link to this page. This has got a little bit better description here. Okay. All right, Javi, I just sent you a link to that page as well. I try to usually get out of here at 8 o'clock, so I'm going to be cutting this short here in a moment.
Okay, I'm just trying one more time.
Okay. Outgoing, you made those changes, and look at the bottom down there. Look at the bottom. So we went to 465, and it looks like it went out. I just got that one from you, and that one's from the other one, the Gmail account. Looks like those are going out. See the progress in the bottom left corner?
Yeah. 205. So let me know which test it is.
That was test 2 that I saw. Then that came in from the Gmail account. So
I just sent test 5.
Okay. Well, it looks. I think it's on its way. Did you quit and restart mail?
I did.
Right.
Shoot, it's being slow. Hold on.
Yeah, I don't know if it's just stuck or not, or it might be that it's.
Let me quit it one more. Can we do one? Let's just quit it one time and just check.
Yeah, and there's an instruction set here with SSL 465 without.
Okay, I'm going to do a test 6.
Well, if it were correct, all the others would go out because they're in the queue to go out.
Oh. Yeah, it's like
26, 25. Well, turn SSL off and go with port 26.
Port 26?
No, wait a minute. With SSL is 465. Without SSL is 26. That's what Bluehost is telling us.
Okay, sorry, I'm closing out these emails. Okay, with SSL 26?
With SSL 465, without SSL 26.
Okay, so I'm going to go without SSL.
All right.
Funny, I feel like I'm now remembering that we tried all this and
really? Well, the other instructions there are in the I sent you, and I can fix that for you if you want. I probably can fix this in person. You would know you're successful because in the bottom left-hand corner, you'd see progress of that going out.
Yeah.
But the other curious piece of this is, why did it go out with the outgoing Gmail? It shouldn't go out as Gmail. That doesn't make sense. There's something else involved. I'm kind of pressed for time here now on this.
Yeah.
But look at the sheet that I just sent you in email. Go through that. You could also get on the phone with Bluehost and find out if they know of a reason that it wouldn't be going out, if they have an alternative outgoing email server setting. And if none of those things work, then schedule me and I'll get over to you, and I'm sure I can solve it if I'm in person. All right?
Okay, sounds good. Thanks so much, Scotty.
All right, guys. Thank you for coming over tonight. I will post the recording of this on the website, and you guys can maybe go check it out later. All right?
Thank you.
Thank you.